have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but you don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? And how often do you think about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies, doing the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident with your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website or give us a call at 860-430-5397.
Knock, knock. Ready or not, there's a psycho in the ring. A scary movie exorcist. Your host come see what lies beneath. At the cabin in the woods, let me in. For Halloween, I'll tell you tales from the hood. If you promise not to scream, I was with carrying some freaks. Dropping in Christine with the lights out on Elm Street on Friday the 13th. Took a wrong turn and swerve cause I couldn't see a thing with the Shannon and a 9 and a son to trick or treat driving. And then I run from cover and leave the others with a grudge cause I still know what they did last summer. Creep through the mist and the fog as darkness falls through the tall grass down a path I saw. So don't blob and my mind split during the descent, so I'm cheating death.
Don't hold your breath.
Got revenge with the undead, Hellraiser, Candyman, Jason, and the boy from the Sixth Sense. Took a stand in zombie land with the queen of the damned. And broke the jaws of 7 lost boys with idle hands. The invisible man broken silence of the lances. Purchased for the purse. Get out while you still can. Don't look now, don't run, don't breathe now. Just hush these voices you can't trust. They're strangers. You're the guest, here's the invitation. Your final destination's with us. From dawn till dusk, we gnaw it up. Dead awake, the slumber's over. Keep your child's playing funny games in a quiet place through midsummer till next October.
Hello. Happy Friday, everybody.
Coming to you live from Florida, it's Speaking It Real. Here's your host, Frank Cuesta and Carlos Contreras.
What an intro, huh, Carlos? What do you think?
They get more impressive every time I see them.
Right? Leave it up to the people at CMG to give us some good commercials and some good stuff. And it was just one of those, the Halloween rap video was outstanding. That was done by Jared. It was one of those where I wanted it to do it last week, but due to certain events, we didn't go on Friday. You know,
it's all
so good. Yeah. So how's your couple weeks been, Carlos?
It's been all right, man. I mean, things are hectic at work. Real estate's doing pretty good. I'm not gonna complain.
All right, good.
Going all right. Baby's going to sleep at a regular time. Not always waking up, so it's getting better.
I bet.
Getting better.
This is our part of shooting the shit with Carlos. Sketchy, Happy Friday. How you doing, my friend? Took last week off, had some events. Kind of had to just take a chill. We were supposed to have a guest on today that was going to talk about one of our topics of relationships. His name is CJ. He's from the Final Tackle podcast. He's out in Australia. I don't know if it was maybe just a time issue. Maybe he forgot. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We'll see where it goes along.
That's because you and I are experts in the field of like, we have excellent track records. You and I
Oh, of course we do, man. We got some good track records. We try to make it everyone on time. I always try to
what
give
a
people a time frame, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But
it's a
I
comedy show
would,
you got lined up tonight.
yes. Today's show is gonna be just a little bit about everything. We're a little behind on the news, so it's kind of like, should we continue going with this? Should we not? You know, but we're gonna talk about a couple of things. I mean, obviously, NFL, DUI, Alec Baldwin, relationships, the
Yeah.
goods, the bads, the ugly. You
Mhm.
know, Lord knows I've been in some good relationships and I've been in some bad relationships. So we'll see how all that comes out about. But and you know what? We might have another segment of Conchita's tarot readings.
Oh,
She kind of decided. I sent out a message to her saying, "Hey, if my guest cancels, you want to come help out?" And lo and
yeah.
behold,
And Frank always ready with a backup plan.
well, you know what? This backup plan, it was weird because I wasn't sure on how we were going to go about it, but she just this morning she's like, "Hey, I'll be there. Don't worry about it,
Yeah.
regardless." And woof, there
Another
she
episode.
is.
Another episode of Read and Wash. Nice.
Hey, let me tell you something. That last episode we did, Conchita, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
That last episode we did with the whole readings of the show, it was fantastic. I think we really had a good turnout. I spoke to people after the show, reference to it, and they were all for it. They really enjoyed themselves. They really thought that a lot of what Conchita was telling them was on point. So what? Kudos to you. That was great of you. You know,
Conchita,
My
you're gonna
pleasure.
be the Hispanic Cleo. You gotta take it. Run the game.
That's right.
yeah. So I mean, if connection might be a little slow, might be a little here and there. I'm still tweaking the office studio. So if you notice, there is no black background like there was before.
Yeah. What's that
I
behind you? I see like okay, all right.
You got trophies. You got
You got a
that's a
level and a glove on it.
yes, 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 yes. I
All
mean, you
right.
gotta kind of play around with it. Still gotta play around with the camera angles,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's we'll get there. We'll get there. You know,
So where do we begin, man?
I don't know,
There
man.
you got a healthy dish of news and stuff. Where do you want to start?
I don't know, man. You know what? I think we're gonna start off with this guy. He kind of ruffled my feathers. Where is he? Where is he?
Somebody ruffled your feathers.
Well,
No,
no, he
you're
didn't ruffle
kidding
my
me.
feathers. No, man, no one ruffles my feathers like that.
Wow,
Like that.
amazing.
What do we know
Never
about this
thought it was
guy?
possible.
What do we know about this guy?
Which guy?
About that guy there, Henry Ruggs.
The receiver for the Raiders, or former receiver for the
Yeah, the
Raiders.
guy went. The guy went from this to this.
Whoa.
Yep. So
You know,
I've seen a couple stories fly by my screen. This is not his first rodeo with drinking and driving. So the guy's got a problem. He's got a serious problem. And of course, a lot of times I think when you add gobs of money to a problem, it can become a really big problem. And you know, add to that false sense of invincibility that most of us let go of after our early 20s. Um, I don't know how old he is. I'm pretty sure he's young. I honestly I don't know how old he is. He
23.
could still be. Well,
No,
there you
I'm
go.
sorry. I'm sorry. He's 22. He's 22.
So he's still in that phase where nothing's gonna happen to me. I'll be fine. And so you drink to the point where your blood alcohol content is twice the legal limit. You get in a really fast car. You drive 150 plus miles an hour, and
Disaster.
You killed two people in the process, or was it? It was a woman
A
and
woman and her dog.
her
Well,
dog.
I'm
Her
going to tell
dog?
you
Yeah,
her
it was
dog.
the okay. So you kill a woman and her dog.
Right. I'm going to tell you
You
the
know,
issue
but
here.
he's got a problem though, because I did read today that this is not like he was videotaped or something previously, just speeding and drinking and driving. He's actually a danger if you really want to get down to it. I guess he
Well,
does.
dude,
He hasn't been caught.
listen, he was driving at 150 miles an hour at some point down the street.
Yeah, yeah. But this is not the first time he's been seen driving really fast while drinking. I saw an article. I think it was in the New York Post where he's done this before. He'd done this before, and so he's got issues, man. He's got a real problem,
At the
and
point of airbag deployment, the vehicle was recorded speeding at 127 miles an hour. You know, this is the true meaning of when the wrong person died.
wow.
In my mind, I mean, maybe it's the wrong way to put it,
Yeah, no, it's pretty blunt.
but the way it is, I mean, I really believe that the wrong person died here.
Yeah, I say the same thing about Alec Baldwin, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that because I don't think it. With Alec Baldwin, I think it was a little different.
We'll get to
I
that one
don't.
later, though. We'll get to
Oh, for
that one
sure, for sure.
later. Yeah.
You know.
No, I totally get what you're saying, and the truth is nobody should have died, but he's got issues. I'm actually trying to see if I could find it here on the phone while we discuss the issue. But I know, yeah. Look, oh, he was filmed partying before the deadly crash. I know I read it somewhere where somebody had videotaped him like having fun um, driving, and I think it was an incident before, but he was also videotaped this time around. He's just got problems. Look, he had problems getting in there, and a lot of times not NFL players, just people. You give them wads of money, they get the fame, they get the money. They don't address the problems, and
Yeah, but you see, this is right. But I'm going to tell you something. Sketchy just put something on, and he makes perfect sense.
hmm
The NFL gives their players rides if they're drunk. He has so many more resources than the common person and still drinks and drives. You drink, you drive, you lose.
yeah,
Sketchy, I completely agree with you. I mean, look, I know that. I mean, look, I love to go out. I like to have my drinks. When I know that I'm gonna go and hang out with a certain individual, okay, and we're gonna drink, because let me tell you, this guy parties, and he's a former football player and all. And you know what I do? I Uber my ass. Okay? I mean,
I
she could
see
tell
red
you.
line driving Uber.
She could tell you. She could tell you.
Hold that
Okay?
camera here. She can tell you.
Yeah, she could tell you where we've hung out. And mind you, she lives, Carlos, if you know where the zoo is, which I'm sure you do,
I do.
okay, I live by the zoo.
Right.
She lives all the way down by Brickell.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's a nice
For those,
drive.
for those who don't know, that's a good 30, 40-minute drive with
Right.
no traffic. With no traffic.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I've driven my car that way,
hmm
and before I've known it, I've had too much to drink. You know what I did? I jumped on an Uber, went home.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay 40, 50 bucks on an Uber, or whatever it is, than number one, kill somebody. All right. Number two, just deal with all those lawyers and fees.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah. But see, Frank, here's the issue. I mean, again, look. First off, I found the article here. I don't know if it would show up on the phone, but like video shows ex NFL star laughing while speeding a year before this deadly crash. This isn't his first rodeo. He's been doing this for a while.
well, what? I mean, but is this his? So would you say that this is his second crash?
Yeah.
No. That's just a video of him speeding and being drunk. The truth is, we don't know how many times he's done it.
Right.
You develop that sense of invincibility, especially in your early 20s. I mean, I'm sure to everybody listening, if I can tell you, hey, remember your early 20s, most of us will say, not really. That's the problem. Frank's trying to hold the smile. I can see Frank holding his face.
Well, I could tell you that I
You know, a lot when we're in our early 20s, man, that is when like Max Stupid hits, and because we're adults now, we get that massive taste of freedom, and we're still thinking we're invincible. And so, in his case, he's going through it too, and he's got wads of money. You know, and now you can assume based on that article alone that he had done that a bunch of times, and I'm sure in his mind he developed that sense that nothing would ever happen. Like you'd be fine.
He was gonna get away with it every single time.
I'll get away with it like I do all the time. And this time, he killed somebody.
Yeah. Huge consequences.
So
Yeah,
it's a sad story. It's a tragic story, and like Sketchy said, you know, when you're an NFL player, I mean, I can only speak from the pool boy armchair here. I mean, if you've got that amount of money and resources and opportunity, common sense would tell you you do what you can to protect that opportunity, not play with it like this. But you know,
you want to know what I think happens? You give these people so much money, okay?
right?
You give them so much money that when they have never really had money, so when they finally have money, they don't know what to do.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I've seen some like specials and documentaries. NFL players, especially like rookies and the young players, they are trained and like they have seminars from older veterans, and they're told, listen, you're gonna be tempted to do this, you're gonna feel this, all this money's gonna this. They actually coach them and try to work with them to keep their head straight on how to handle that overwhelming, like all that money and all that like freedom, which a lot of them, if you really want to be honest, on their path to the NFL, they didn't have much of. And so, yeah, they're even coached, and I'm sure he received it too. But some people just they don't get the training, they don't pay attention, it doesn't register, and we have people like Henry Ruggs. So, unfortunately, yeah, I mean, dude, I was when I was still living in Miami, I got into a car accident. Car hit me, probably going 50, 60 miles an hour. I imagine. Obviously I'll never forget that incident, but like 150.
Imagine.
God,
that's crazy.
That's mind blowing to think about getting hit by something that fast, that big. Oh, nah. So, I mean, he deserves plenty of time now. You can't forgive that though. I don't care what.
No, you can't. I think I don't think money did get him out of this. Especially if those videos are surfacing of him partying about. I mean, story goes there was also a gun in the car. I don't know what the Las Vegas rules are for.
He has a right to carry. I don't think that'll be an issue.
I think
now the fact that there is video of him doing it before that may sway a little bit. Like it might have people think that you've been reckless for a while. This wasn't like a one-time deal. I don't know if that might play against him. But yeah,
who knows? It might not.
Right. He's looking at 2 counts of manslaughter because I'm sure they're going to charge him for the dog too. So 2 counts of like some kind of manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter at least. And
yeah. I mean,
and here's the problem. To be truthful, to be honest, vehicular manslaughter in a case like this, because I mean accidents happen, and I think you can look at the situation and see the severity of a vehicular manslaughter charge. But in a case like this, which is just flat out irresponsible, I sometimes don't think it carries enough sting or weight when it comes to sentencing. And he may not. He may only do some more time.
Well, I would tell you this. I think a lot of it also depends on how much the other person's family pushes it. And what I mean by that is this. Okay. I have a friend of mine, okay, or a person, not much of a friend, not but a person that I know, a person that I used to run with. Let's put it that way.
Right.
All right. They
Term I used to run with.
yeah. They went out
Mm-hmm.
with their friends. It was Valentine's Day. Coming home, she fell asleep.
Mm.
She hit the back of a garbage truck. Okay, she hit it so hard, her friend hit the glass. The back part of the truck came in to the car, and her friend died. We're talking about her best friend. Okay, now they did a blood alcohol. Okay, she was just a little bit over the legal limit. Okay. Um. So obviously she got arrested. She went to jail. The whole 9 yards. You know. Um. She comes out of it with a very light sentence,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of she got 10 years that she can't drive for 10 years. Um. She's on probation. She did maybe 1 day of jail time. Okay, but a lot here had to do with her friend's mom.
Oh, so her friend's mom didn't push it?
No, her friend's mom was actually advocating for her, saying, "Look, I
That's
understand it's
big.
an accident."
Huge. I don't know if I could be that forgiving.
But you know what? When you look at the surrounding stuff, okay,
Yeah.
they're really, you know, she wasn't like doing anything stupid. She wasn't pissed drunk. I'm not saying it's right,
No, I get you. I get you.
okay, but when you really turn around and you look at it, one drink puts you over the legal limit. Okay, one drink puts you over the legal limit. Now, does it go away pretty quickly if you've only had one? Yes, it does. Okay, but it puts you over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who's to say that I don't drive after one drink? Yeah, I do. I drive after two drinks. Okay, I've probably driven. You
How about we
know,
don't confess that, Frank? You might want to keep that under wraps. I'm just saying.
no. I'm not gonna say how many, but so like in her case, the mom really was like, "Hey, look, I don't want no jail time for her. I don't want this." Was a very big advocate in the time that she got.
Okay.
So I'll tell you this: if I know that it's something, with this guy that's so heinous, that's so irresponsible, because we're looking at, this guy was flying 100 something miles an hour. That's just completely irresponsible for this
That's
guy.
ridiculous.
This guy deserves the book thrown at him.
They got racetracks for that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous.
Laughing the whole entire time, millions of times before.
Yeah.
You know,
But I'm going to tell you somebody that's not laughing.
Mm.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh boy. Yeah, man. That's a mystery right there. I mean, this is the same thing that happened to Bruce Lee's kid.
Yeah.
But I think with Bruce Lee's kid, if I remember the story correctly, there was a prop gun, but the way I remember it, and Sketchy or whoever can correct me or whatnot, but the way I remember it was there was a fragment of one of the previous like fake bullets or something that remained in the chamber. And so when it was fired, that fragment is what pierced Brandon Lee, and that's what killed him. What I'm reading now is that it's possible somebody put a live round in the prop, and that's a completely different thing. That's a completely different thing. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Hold on a minute. I'm reading Brandon Lee was killed by a prop gun on the Crow days before Alec. Yeah, we know that. Let's see.
but it was like some piece of metal shrapnel in Brandon Lee's case that fired off and
Okay, well, right. In Brandon Lee's case, the 28-year-old actor and son of martial artist Bruce Lee was killed in 1993 after co-star firing a prop gun
in that
that contained a real bullet while filming The Crow. The shooting cut short the promise of star's career. Blah 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 blah. Okay, right. So he was shot by a prop gun,
right.
which technically was probably still a real gun if it fired a real bullet. So it had a real bullet in it.
Oh, so it was a real bullet? Okay. I thought I remember it differently, but okay. All right. I mean, this is 30 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Dude, our class reunion is like in 2 years.
Let me ask you: Have you gone to even one of them?
No.
Me neither.
No.
Got another one.
I haven't gone. I mean, I think to me, just going off the topic right quick, people that I want to see after high school, I already do. Why do I want to go see somebody that I haven't seen in 30 years and say, oh, wow, so you still the piece of shit you were back then? Do I really want to do that, man?
Some things never change.
What? No, you see, that's the problem. Carlos has known me for many, many years. I was always quiet. I wouldn't talk much. I was very just only at lunch. I wouldn't say much. I had my friends, but I wouldn't really say too much to people in general. At lunch we spoke, and that was about it. But outside of that, I'm not as outspoken as I am nowadays.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely worse now. I'll give him that.
So, going into this Alec Baldwin stuff, what I'm trying to grasp is, number one, I don't know what type of gun it was, to be honest with you. But, I mean, just looking at this picture here, right? Can you tell here which is the real bullet and which is the fake bullet?
No, not at all. Hold on. Okay, wait. Let me try. I'll guess. It's either number 2 or 3.
No. You see the last one that has no bullet to it?
That's not a special type of bullet? Okay, go ahead.
No.
All right.
It's not.
All right.
Okay,
so that would be the prop bullet? The blank?
That's the blanks.
All right.
Those are your blanks. All right. But in this case, somebody put a bullet in there. Now, I've heard stories that they're blaming the armor. I think, if it is the armor has a lot of talking.
Yeah, man.
Has a lot of shit they got to deal with now because things are not easy.
But I mean, based on your picture, how do you make that kind of mistake? Like, what you showed me was a pretty clear-cut difference between real bullet and prop. Like, how do you make that kind of error? That doesn't pass the smell test.
I don't know, man. I wish I could kind of understand that. But oops.
Right.
That's not supposed to come on yet.
Was that him?
No. That was something else.
That's the next thing.
Okay.
That's the next topic. That's the next topic. So, but there has to be something.
Here's the thing. I also did hear that there were complaints against the armor from previous movies. There were also a ton of budget issues where, like, some of the people who were working on this movie didn't feel safe working in this movie. You could point, I mean, as much as we can look at the armor for the bullets, you can also look at, I think, Baldwin, because this is his project, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of this budget stuff, I think, runs through him. So he's having these issues, and I think it's possible that he's cutting corners, which leads to this kind of stuff, or at least he could be liable. Is basically what I'm getting at. He could be liable. I mean, obviously, I don't think he did this on purpose and he killed her, at least on purpose. But
I would
decision making.
I don't understand how he could be liable though.
Well, it's his movie. It's his budget. He's the one hiring these people. He's the one cutting corners. I mean,
okay, so all right, so let me put this in perspective. You have your business.
I have my business.
You hire me. You hire Conchita.
I'm so screwed.
Let me just tell you something. Que conmigo.
No. Okay, you hire us, right? And we're gonna say it is a gun business, right?
Okay.
We're gunsmiths or whatever. I shoot somebody in the store accidentally. Whose fault is that?
Oh, your fault?
Why is it my fault? You're my boss. You're the one in charge.
Right. So it's your fault if you were handling the weapon and you made the mistake. However, the business can also.
But I was told that what was in the gun was blanks. There was nothing in the gun. So I just pulled the trigger.
Who told you that
But
then?
still, as an employee, you have to know your.
Who told you that then?
You have to know your job or whatever. You have to be very mindful of what you're doing.
I understand that. Okay, but this is the thing. When you're on the set, okay, and again, I've never really been much on the set, but I can imagine that when you're on the set, you're not gonna go ahead, hey, here you go. You have your blank bullets in there. And if it's a revolver, okay, you'll see it from the back, it looks the same as a regular bullet. So you're not gonna think about that. Oh yeah, bam. You're gonna pull the trigger. So whose fault is that?
But businesses are held liable too. I mean, for example, let's go back to the classic. You remember that story from many moons ago about the woman who I think got herself burned with the coffee from McDonald's?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that story? All right.
We're talking many years ago.
Yeah, right. But who got sued? The person who served the coffee or McDonald's?
McDonald's because of the cup.
Okay, so essentially, even though you shot somebody and you thought you were prepared, my business is liable. So yeah, I or at least not me directly, but my business can be held liable, and I could lose a ton of money in a lawsuit because of your actions. Yeah. So in this case, I think it was Alex production. And I think he was in charge of a lot of the budgetary decisions, including who's doing what and where to cut corners, and it led to this. So some of this can, in fact, fall on his lap. I don't know how much, but
yeah. Hey, listen, you guys that are out there listening to us, if you guys want a reading from Conchita, feel free to break in at any time. She'll be more than happy to give a quick reading to you guys. She brought her cards, so you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. We'll be ready. But you know what? Going on to this, I'm going to tell you somebody that's not happy, and
who's not happy?
This guy here. Check this guy out, and this is going to bring us into our next topic. Ali Abu Laban. Ali Abu
Laban. All right.
Yes.
Who went by?
Yeah, you can go ahead and read it.
On TikTok. See, once you read TikTok, you know this is a bad story. Yes. Installed a listening device on his 5-year-old daughter's iPad, and when he heard his wife and a man talking and giggling, he went to the apartment and killed them. Wow.
Yeah, pretty pretty nuts over there, huh?
Just, I mean, talking and giggling. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of questions you can ask here. I don't
Well,
even know where to begin. Like, see, that's the kind of paragraph that is phrased perfectly to leave you asking a bunch of questions. But then again, it's also a blurb. That was Twitter, right?
yes.
Right. So you're not going to get the whole article there. But like, where was the?
Well, right. I mean, if I wanted to, I mean, I could have probably clicked onto it and got the whole article. I mean, that
Right.
came out of Channel 7 News out here.
Yeah.
But
Right.
my thing there is obviously there was a rip in the relationship there.
Yeah. It sounds like there was already issues.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and I mean, it's not to really talk much about the story because I could care less about this. I mean, not that I care less about the story, but
So the lesson of the story is TikTok strikes again, and TikTok ruins lives.
correct. But you know what? Relationships. What are relationships nowadays? What condones a healthy relationship? What's a toxic relationship? What should we look for? How do you know when you're in a good relationship? How do you know when you're in a toxic relationship? You know, it's just one of those things where you look at life itself and we all normally want to have our partners, right? We want to, nobody likes to grow old by themselves. Let's be real. Let's speak it real. Nobody wants to grow old by themselves. Okay, so having somebody next to you that you coincide with, that you're happy with, is very important to one's well-being. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
some of us sometimes don't even know we are in a bad relationship.
Mm. Frank's getting deep now.
No, but it's
We're
true.
getting into that deep psychology stuff.
Hey, look, you know what? Look, I'll be very honest with you. These people that know me very well, I was in a relationship for 15 years with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first couple years were great. After that, that relationship went south, and it was very toxic.
The
But
tough thing about relationships, I guess, kind of adding to what you just described, is that when people are meeting each other, they're always going to show you their best face. That's the meat right there. You know, the introductions, the first few whatever months, weeks, year. You're going to get their best hand, and then when the truth starts coming out about like who each person is, that's when the heavy decision making has to begin because you start seeing the things you're going to have to deal with forever if you choose to. So when you describe it the way you did, Frank, I'm not surprised. That's how most relationships kind of go. It's like, oh, everything was great at first, and then,
right,
and then
but
the and thens begin.
right, but now my thing here is, how do we know we're in a toxic relationship?
Well, you said something really interesting before, which is some people don't even know they're in one, and you can't imagine the kind of you know trauma, uh, just issues or things that they experienced in their upbringing that can warp any person's version of the word normal, and you can end up in like something really toxic, but because you've been growing up with that kind of toxic, it seems normal to you. And that's just one aspect of it, but you know,
Well, let
relationship.
me watch this. Let me ask this, Conchita. You've been in relationships, obviously. Um, how did you know you were in a toxic relationship in the past, or if you were, if in any?
Yeah. Um, well, it started out beautiful, and then they change, or the person changes,
And
and
then
sometimes very quickly and very rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And from one day to the next, you're controlled. You can't use the phone. God knows. And then you think that that's normal, or they try to brainwash you to say that I love you and I care about you. I want to spend all of my time with you. And yet, little by little, you know, they take over. It's very important before you get into any relationship for you to be completely whole. And it's hard, but that's the only way that two people are going to make it work.
Okay, so what would be signs of a toxic relationship?
Just
What is it we're looking at? Are we looking at, I'm in a relationship with somebody, we get in an argument, and I just don't talk to them again for days?
that's another aspect.
Is that toxic?
What's it?
Would that be toxic, or that would just be someone not wanting to deal with it?
Say that again, Frank. Describe it
Okay,
again.
let's say we have an argument,
Okay.
right? And I'm like, hey, look, that's it. Conversation's over. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. I can talk about it.
Okay.
Leave me alone. I want my alone time right now because I ain't dealing with this shit. Right?
Okay.
So it's pretty much, it's a smart move. It's a cool off period.
Yeah.
Okay. But how about if I just say, look, I'm not talking to you. I give you a silent treatment.
Well,
Could that be
So-
signs?
Yeah, those are two different things.
it could be,
Yeah. Go ahead,
the
Conchita.
person needs their time. You know, like you know the person. They're like, okay, leave Frank alone. You know, or leave God alone. Because right now is not the time. But maybe in an hour, he'll cool off. And then we can actually have a conversation about it. Normally.
Okay, but watch this. Fine. Cooling off. But I'm going to come back and tell you, look, that's it. It happened. I don't want to deal with it no more. It is what it is. Drop it.
Yeah, well, then that's when you
Well-
say, is it worth it? You know, to pick an argument. Or say, you know what? It's not worth it. He's right.
So yeah, this is tricky because
Lack of support.
I mean,
Why? Okay, let's see what. Go ahead, Carlos.
no, I'll read this real quick.
You know, people want to be heard, understood.
All right,
They want
let's
to
see.
be heard to like listen to them.
And Sketchy's
That's part of the
right on a lot of points here. So Frank, I guess a lot of that also comes down to the
Yeah,
two
you're
individuals
right, sir.
involved. I mean, if whatever it is that set us off is worth dropping, then it's not bad, is it? Like you don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It ain't worth it either. Fine.
Whatever. It's this.
We could be cool.
If
Or
it's something I'm
but you know what? If it's a
Okay.
recurring issue,
Then
and
that's a
we
problem.
continue to drop it, then it's a problem because it needs to be addressed.
Because then that's
So,
disrespectful.
and at some point, somebody should like be alert enough to say, "Hold up, we keep going through this cycle. Like, I think we do need to address it."
Yeah.
And that's actually healthy. And if you're willing to say, "Okay, what are we doing?" You know, because maybe you don't even notice it. So
Yeah,
who
you just
knows,
don't.
man? Who knows?
It's,
But yeah, what you described earlier, like the whole cold shoulder silent treatment thing, more often than not, that's a game. That's a game. That's just you're waiting for someone to grovel back to you, like, oh, I'm sorry. That's
I don't think that's a game.
manipulation.
No. Okay. Well, hold on.
Remember how you painted it though? How you painted it when you said, "Oh no, I'm not gonna talk."
I know very well how I painted it. I know very well how I painted it. I painted it as in, hey, look, you know what? It's done. Over. Don't talk about it. That doesn't mean that I don't give a shit about it. It means like I left it back in the past. I'm not going to deal with it no more. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It was an argument. I don't want to deal with it.
Right, but that's not what you said.
It doesn't
You
mean
did
that.
say that, but you also said in a different instant. You said, "You know what? I don't want to talk to you." That is different. That when you said, "I don't want to talk to you," and
Right.
and
Well, I mean, when I get and I'm just here I locked myself in my room and I was for a day or two. I just fed up. And before I start running my mouth on things that I shouldn't run my mouth on, you know what? That 10-year-old kid grunt in my room can't come out.
You're not my
You
friend
know?
anymore. You know what? At the end of the day, Frank, though,
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
any two people, they're gonna find different ways to resolve their issues, and as long as the way it's resolved is acceptable to both, who are we to judge? You know, if that's we can. I mean, because everybody's experience is different. You and I can look at a couple fight, and then call them for a few days, and that's just this long drawn out process. But you know what? They're happy, and they eventually
Good.
figure out. And so it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, well, Sketchy has a good comment here, a good question here. Do you all think humans are designed to be with one person forever? I feel like we're animals and are here to procreate.
I,
50 times
I've
we
sometimes
married
I've
to so
sometimes
in the
espoused to
past few
Sketchy's
years.
little theory. You know, sometimes I question that too. Like, is this really the way it's supposed to work? I don't know. You know, sometimes I
Well,
thought
you know
that.
what? I will tell you this. I've had my share.
Hmm.
I do believe that there is one person out there for you, that you're meant to grow old with and die with. Um, I do believe that there is a soulmate for people. Do we ever find that person? Probably not, or sometimes we
No.
do. I think it's a thing that people just decide to settle for what's going to be in their comfort zone, as opposed to going out there and being, and finding what they want, what they should be with, and or who they should be with.
Hmm.
I don't think it's something that we could put a finger on it. But I mean, hell, I've been married twice, maybe three times. You
Maybe.
know,
Maybe.
maybe.
I don't know.
You know, I say maybe. My marriage was old. Second, old. So that's why I say maybe three. But I mean, I
You know,
still decide to go out there and put myself out there and look for the right person for me.
yeah,
You
I don't
know,
know about the whole perfect, like soulmate explanation. Everybody's got their I guess baggage, for lack of a better term. Um, it's up to us to navigate whose bags we can carry the longest. That's really it. That's really it. Everybody's got their stuff. Can you handle that stuff for the rest of your life? If you can, then there you go. That's your partner, plain and simple. There's because every human is flawed, so we're gonna have to deal with
of
each other's
course,
flaws. Can
and
we? Can we?
except
Yeah.
except for me,
Except who?
I'm perfect. Except for me,
Oh, except for
I'm
you.
perfect.
Frank is without flaw. I forget.
I'm
And
perfect.
so, but but I have thought about Sketchy's rationale sometimes because it's like this is kind of crazy. Maybe I thought that way when I was younger because just because.
I
you
think
know,
we all do. I mean, I think we all that, but I do think that we have that one person that's always gonna
but there is someone you
on
can
your mind.
find that
You
once you you're with them long enough and you go through the honeymoon phase is essentially what I was describing. That part where you're getting my best side. No, it's when the ugly comes out that you figure out. Okay, I mean that irks my nerves, but I can deal with it. He or she does this and it grates me, but you know what? We get through it. Blah blah blah. I can deal with it. That's when you know your forevers are there. And there's I'm sure there's quite a few people you can do that with, but you'll find that one. And it's just that we don't always find it.
So,
Relationships, Frank, they're like gambling. It's like Vegas. Oh, I'm gonna try here, and it may not work. There's no guarantee. You know,
so would you found your happy partner for life?
me?
Yeah,
You're asking
you.
me? Yeah. So far, so good. This is the longest relationship I've been in. I'm happy.
How long?
We're at 9
How many
years now.
years?
9 years.
Damn. All right, too
Hmm?
bad.
9 years, 2 kids,
Not
plenty
too
of
bad.
gray. I'm good. So when you start getting into the
After
whole thing,
that,
say what?
after that, it goes downhill.
That's why I'm an advocate for cutting the cable.
You know, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said, you know, because vasectomies,
Get them.
sketchy. I want to know what you think. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Sketchy has another comment here. Do you buy one car, drive it forever? No. Once it's old and run down, you sell it and buy a new one. I use this analogy when it comes to women. I don't want a woman with high miles.
Damn.
But you were
I
laughing
appreciate his honesty. If Sketchy's a frequent car dealer, visitor, then hey, you know. At the same time, though, unfortunately, these are cars that choose to be bought or not, and I'm not sure if these cars want to be driven by a guy with too many miles too.
Exactly. It goes both ways.
But you know what? I mean, look. Going on to Sketchy's point, he kind of has a point. You know,
No,
you
I get
don't.
it.
The least, I think, the least you know about an individual that you're with at times might be better
Hmm.
as far as their mileage is concerned. You
Yeah,
know,
so Sketchy likes to read odometers, man. All right, what am I going to tell you?
hey, Sketch, I like to read them too. Don't worry about it. Just you just gotta open the doors wide open and just go right in and read. You
Ugh,
know,
this is such a
but
vulgar conversation. I can't believe I'm part of it.
but anyways, hey,
You guys are awful.
vasectomies. You know
Listen,
what?
man.
Should we? Should we not?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm for Into the Wind, and I mean,
Did you get
dude,
one?
yeah, yeah. Kids are taxing, man. Kids are taxing. After a while, you need to like pick a point where you're like, no mas, and that's it. That's it. I fully. I mean, yes, I believe it's a great idea to get one, but I think if you plan on raising families or having kids, no salvage titles.
And those salvage titles.
Oh man.
I think on that we're just gonna end the show today. 'Cause
I'm beginning to think Sketchy likes to take walks at universities a lot. Sketchy visits the nearby college quite a bit.
probably,
um,
who knows?
but just to answer your question real quick, Frank, we're dads, and being a dad is a great thing. But man, raising kids is an extremely taxing experience, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with limiting your number of future taxpayers, and so no, I think at some point it's a good idea to get one and just not worry about it anymore.
Yeah, no, I've been
Not worry about
contemplating
unwelcome
it.
surprises or things like that. Like what the hell.
No, yeah, I've been contemplating it. It's one of those things where it's just I think it's time. I don't want no more kids.
I mean, yeah. Ask yourself, do you want to start over? I'm in it now.
Dude, you know
I
what?
mean,
I'm 46
I honestly
years
wasn't
old.
really ready to start over, but she's here now, and once you see her face, it's like adorable. But
Yeah, but okay, but watch this. Your kids are how old? You have one that's like my oldest son's age, like 21,
dude,
22, right?
I range from 24 to 1. I've got kids. So
So your kids have like each more of a like 5 year gap.
yeah, like I'm like a 6, 7 year gap type of guy, which makes no sense either. But
You know what? At this point in my life, I will be a 10 year gap for 3 kids. No thanks.
all right, so I mean, and you're my age, so are you ready to start over now?
No.
Then get it, and avoid any surprises. Just call it a day. Nothing
All right.
changes. Nothing
No,
changes.
no.
No,
Right, right. You
everything
just shoot
still functions.
blanks.
You're just not in danger of
You're
adding
shooting
to your.
blanks.
That's it. You're shooting blanks. There will
You're
be no
shooting
Alec
blanks.
Baldwins. There will be no
Exactly.
Baldwins here. No, none of that stuff.
Oh God, you knew. What can we say? No pun intended, huh?
None. That was purely no pun
Yeah.
intended.
So I got one more question. Being in the relationship topic here, who should ask for a hand in marriage?
Wow, that's a good question because it's 2021. I mean, now that we have spent so much time, Sketchy's his own PSA. You gotta love it.
Yes, yes.
Now that the feminist movement has done what they can to pretty much remind men that they don't need this and they can do this and they can do and they can propose too. So I don't know anymore. I mean, back in our day when we were growing up, it was pretty much a one-sided deal. I don't see why it has to be that way anymore.
So, Conchita, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Would you want to be the one asking for somebody's hand in marriage, or do you want to be done to you?
I would never ask a man to marry me.
She would say it again.
I would never ask a guy to
See,
marry
she's
me.
old school. She's
I'm
old
old
school.
school. How
But
long do you ask?
I'm
not doing it. That's not my job. I don't think that's my job. That's your job.
Well, let me take this a little
I'm
step
old
further
school.
then. So, is the option for you to get married again open, or is that closed?
No, I would.
Okay, so let's say you get with somebody and they tell you, "Hey, I don't want to get married, but I want to live together and we share a life together, but I don't want to get married." Is that an option that will be open to you, or is that an option that's closed to you, or do you have to be married?
That is a tough question. No, I don't need to be married. I don't think I need to be, but I would like to be.
You see, Danny's put it right. I think the guys need to ask.
I think the guys need to have for sure. Danny.
I mean, I'll tell you something. I would find it very, very weird if I had a woman ask me to marry her.
I just imagined your face in the scenario, like, Frank, will you marry me? Frank's face.
I'd just be like, I don't know. Because you know what? The way I see it is, and call me whatever you want to call me, but that's the guy's job. If the woman has to ask me to marry her, that means that she's two balls and a dick away from being a guy. And you know what? I really don't want that.
So vulgar. Oh,
Very,
oh.
very, very.
You're canceled.
Very, very. Look, I'm glad, and you see, Danny says the same thing I do, except in so many ways. I think I'd walk away. Dude, Danny's just being nice. I'll fucking run.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I agree that we should be the ones doing it, but I'm just like trying to like look at it from today's societal perspective. It's like,
That's a good idea.
should men really have to be the ones nowadays? But you know what? That's a question and a perspective for a younger generation. I'm not going to worry about it.
You know what? I think I'm going to try to get a younger generation out here.
Yeah, I mean, because
there's
so much into their equality.
See, I mean,
It's
look,
a good question for them.
Danny's in that younger generation category, but Danny, when you really get to know Danny, and he's my son, so Danny's an old man for a lot of things. He was brought up with very old beliefs and very old fashioned beliefs.
That's another thing, though, upbringing.
So I think upbringings make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. Carlos, Conchita, any final thoughts, Conchi? I know we didn't do no readings today, but no one really wanted a reading. I guess, our audience level was...
They were more interested in our expert relationship analysis.
Any final thoughts?
Because we are pros at the subject. With multiple marriages and
So what did we learn? Keep your miles low, and cut your cables. Cut your cables when you've dropped a few scooters, and that's it.
No, actually, you got to do a trade in every so years once you put too many miles on them.
Yee, without.
Don't you? You're good. You're good. Carlos, any final thoughts?
Nah, man. Been a fun show. Good talk. Good conversation as always. And let's go, Brandon.
Had to do the freaking religious, the religious system, the political crap.
Just gotta drop it in there. That's all. No problem.
Yeah. Hey, look, guys, it's been a good show. I'm in my element now. I'm in my studio in a sense. You know what? We're gonna have more shows. We're gonna have good things coming with time.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, know that Speaking of Rio is brought to you by ClovercrestMedia.com, CMG Podcast. Come check us out. We're about 40-some shows deep, maybe even more at this point.
Probably more. We stopped counting.
I stopped counting.
Yeah.
Wow. You gotta love Sketchy. Sketchy's a staple on this show. Sketchy, we really want to get you out of here, man.
Sketchy's
you gotta send us an email, man. You gotta.
He's a straight up car dealer.
Yeah, right. But hey, listen. Remember this. We are Speaking It Real. We advocate truthfulness, accuracy, honesty, and the reason as essential to the integrity of communications.
Most importantly, tolerance.
Notice.
Like the real definition of tolerance, not the bullcrap you hear in the news or in the media. Tolerance.
Hey, look, today I think we had good discussions. We agreed on a lot of things, I want to say. I don't think there was many disagreements, but even when we don't agree, we respect each other's opinions. Even when we agree, we still respect each other's opinions. But when we don't agree, we're speaking it real. When we agree, we're speaking it real. So you know what that means? That we, as Speaking It Real, whether we have Conchita on, whether we have Carlos on, whether I'm on, whether Sketchy one day decides to be on, okay, are always speaking it real. Catch you guys next week, Friday night, unless something crazy happens. And if it does, we'll let you know on our page. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting ClovercrestMedia.com.
Oops. Bye.